Cool, we're live, and I'm just going to wait for a minute or two for people to join in. I think the previous session should have ended by now. Is there anybody who is spilling over from the previous session? Like, if you can give a quick thumbs up that the previous session has ended, has not ended. I'm sorry, I do not know. Okay, somebody tell me it is about to get over. It's wrapping up. Got it. Thanks, Jyotsna. I will wait. I will wait for a minute or two. It'll also give some breathing space for our panelists who are also attending a lot of these sessions, I guess. Sure, I will wait for a bit. But this is going to be an interesting conversation today. We have a lot of big names, so I'm excited. I don't want people to miss this session, so I am going to wait a little bit longer. Cool, I see likes coming in for my guys. Oh, what's up? Are you guys here from the other session? Hi, Raju. What's up? Raju, is the other session done? Are you coming in from there, or is this your first session today? Got it. I think we are beginning to get a good number of people in. That is a signal for me that the previous session has ended, I guess. Cool. So welcome, guys. Welcome to another star-studded panel. I'm already intimidated by the people that I'm going to call on stage. So today's this session is going to be about. Now, I have a good following on, say, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever, and I don't know what to do next. What next is the question, right? So for that, we have three very, very established content creators here. We have Himesh Madan, who is a very popular YouTuber, among the top YouTubers in the country with over 5 million subscribers. And he also is associated with one more channel that has about 9 million subscribers. We also have Taskin Fatima Basha, who is the CEO of Skillo by the Urban Fight. She also runs a very uh, popular YouTube channel. It's very hard for me to keep track of how many subscribers she has because every time I look at her YouTube channel, it has way more subscribers than ever before, but she's definitely crossed 2 million subscribers. So that's huge. Sharik Shamsuddin is another very popular YouTuber. He creates content just in the Malayalam and financial space, which is very, very niche. And he has still managed to build a huge following out there. So with that, I would want to bring on stage if my panelists are ready. Let me just quickly check in because this is going to be a fun event. It might be a little into the future for a lot of you who are probably just starting out, but it will give you a sense of how things are going to be when things actually blow up. What is the end state? What who are the idols that you should start looking up to? I hope the answer to that question, those people are on the panel. So let me just, without any delay, call them up on stage. Awesome. So I hope the tech works. Awesome.
Hey. Hi,
Hi,
Madhav.
Jagan. Hi, Daskin.
Hey,
Hi, Ganesh, Sharik, everybody's here. Awesome. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well, thank you.
I am so glad that you guys are all here. I'm already intimidated by the kind of people I'm going to be talking to and interviewing per se. So I'm so grateful that you guys agreed to come on. So quickly, if you can do a round of, of course, there are not going to be too many people who don't know you, but we will still go through the motions of giving ourselves a quick introduction. If I may start with Taskin and Sugandh.
Yes. So yeah, we'll keep it brief. First of all, thank you so much, InfluencerCon, Madhavan, for having us over here. We are basically software engineers by profession, both me and Sugar, and we wanted to do something else apart from our jobs, and we thought, let's start with a health and fitness channel. But because we didn't want to give random information of the net, to establish credibility, I became a A certified fitness trainer. I worked as a F45 hit trainer. But after a while, we decided we need to play on our strengths, which was 8 years of corporate experience and 12 years of corporate experience. And that is when the channel became career and finance oriented, and that's really where we found our niche, and that's what we're continuing doing.
Absolutely, that's an amazing channel there, which I'm going to dig a lot into. But before that, I will hand it over to Himesh. Himesh, if you can quickly give an intro about yourself as well.
Surely. Thank you, Madhavan. It's a real pleasure being here. So I create content around life skills, value addition. So I try to empower lives. I try to turn potential into performance by creating content which can help people in learning and earning. So these are my two, core pillars of the vision, helping people in learning and earning.
That's awesome. That's as simple as it gets. Thank you so much. Quickly, Sharik, if you can give a quick introduction about you, yourself, and Fanfolio before I dig into the questions.
Right. So hi Madhav and hi guys. So first of all, thank you for having me here. So humble to be a part of InfluencerCon 2020. So I'm Sharik Jamsuddin. I'm from Kerala. I run a very small Malayalam channel, just over 500k subscribers. But again, in Malayalam with a very niche thing which I do. So I train people on personal finance. Again, from what I learned in my life. So I ran a startup earlier and it was acquired by another company. So I had a successful exit from my startup. But after that, when probably I had a bit of money in my hand, I was exploring what to do with it. And then I stumbled upon personal finance and realized that, it's about making money with money and achieving financial freedom. And that's when we truly are happy, right? So happiness is what we live for, and to achieve that in this materialistic world, we need to sort our finances. So started learning about that, and once I learned about that, started talking about that, then started building a community around it. Now it is more than 500k plus strong, and then I started building a company around it. Now I have a team of nearly 25 people. All going good. Sitting in the office, probably planning to scale this nationally very soon. Right.
That's awesome.
Personal finance, right?
Say. So the reason we have all of you here today on the panel is because all of you have definitely grown beyond just being a very small channel to a national phenomena. Not in Sharik's case, you've probably scaled across the entirety of the potential audience, right? So I don't know how many people understand personal finance in Malayalam. So I think you have a significant share of that. So that's congrats. So let me start off this discussion with Himesh. Himesh, if you could help me with this question as to, when you were just hitting that probably the 100k mark, 1 million mark, what kind of fundamentally changed in your life? How did your life as a YouTuber change between being less than 100k to, let's say, more than 100k, 1 million type of thing?
I think that 100k mark did not bring any paradigm shift. I would say at that time when I started at that time, first 1,000 and first 10,000 subscribers were like more important milestones to reach. After that, the ripple effect started coming in. So fundamentally, what changed with every milestone being crossed is as a trainer, I was more into physical workshops, physical trainings. But as and when the milestones I was able to achieve, I went more digital, more virtual. I tried to leverage the entire training into digital format. And instead of helping 50 people in a boardroom, I was able to inspire millions through virtual rooms. So
got it.
That's a shift. Yeah.
That's awesome. Let me throw that question now also to Sugandh and Taskin, because this, from what I know, you have been growing really, really fast. Like every time I looked at your channel, the number of subscribers keeps blowing up. Like how have things changed beyond? Again, you can pick your milestone. If there was a milestone beyond which things really started changing, what was that point, and how did things start changing beyond that?
Okay, so our hardest milestone was basically getting to 1,000, and that time was like we were a fitness channel. So what we used to do is that we used to roam around Hyderabad. Every Sunday we used to go aim at one park, do physical workouts there with people, and get them really tired, and then tell them to rest for 5 minutes on the ground. And when they were doing that, we would tell them, okay, we have a channel. Please go, open your phone now and subscribe. And through one of those experiences, we actually wanted to understand our key market was like the new corporate people, new employees, right? And that's where we figured out for them, fitness is not that a problem. It's the health which is the problem. So after doing like 2.5 years of the channel, we were at 8,000 subscribers when we were focusing on fitness. And then we moved to the career thing of things, and that's where we found our niche. And then within like 6 months, we were for like 1 lakh subscribers. So,
Wow. So
after that, we never really bothered about subscribers.
awesome. So I definitely need to dig more into that. Like, at what point did you realize that hey, fitness is not working and career is like? Why did you even make that first career video?
So the first career video we really made was how I bought a house before turning 25. It was like a finance thing, and that was more. See, our videos are less inspirational, motivational, and more about life experiences. And we really want to tell people, you know what, this is a mistake I made. Don't do it. instead of making it a finance 101, that's what we really see. It's like this health and fitness way we realize, as Sugandh said, is that we realize that you can share as many diet plans as you can, as many workouts as you can, but it's basically it's saying the same thing. It's just eating healthy and eating at home and avoiding processed food. But most of the mental health is the most important issue over there. And over here, career and finance are the biggest worries, and that is when we realize, that's really. So there's a video called "How We Reached 1 Lakh Subscribers," where we really spoke about the struggles of getting to that number. And frankly, after that, as Sugandh said, we don't really bother about the numbers. We're like, Acha, I mean, even our partner manager from Google tells us, what do you want? And we're like, we want to make better content. And he gets surprised and he says, you know what, you're the first person who is saying that, because everybody else is like, we want more money, we want more subscribers. We're like, we really don't. It's like, if you create good content, no money comes. Subscriber comes. So there were videos we have made in the past, how to become a nutritionist, how to become a Air Force pilot. That didn't get many views at that time, right?
Yeah, but now they're doing good. Like after like a few years.
After this.
They're paying dividends years later.
So we did like an Air Force pilot video. After 1 month, it had like 2,000 views, and now it's like, and then immediately started doing well, and it's like, I think close to touching a million now.
Yeah. Just focus on value. That's all we care about. Numbers, yes, you matter. After getting that first silver plate button, you are like,
I love the way that you casually just said, no, after 1 month, I had 2,000 views. I was thinking, is that high or low? But I clearly, for you guys,
after 2 years, we had 8,000. So I don't know why people think our growth is fast. After 2 years, we had 8,000 subscribers. And
probably I didn't know you back then. So maybe. Ever since I've been following you, even really fast.
When we were doing, that was a time when Jio had come, and that brought along a whole lot of entertainment content and a lot of people who watched the content. So being an educational channel was very, very tough at that time. And still we managed to, find what is it that the audience likes, plus what is it that we like doing. If we don't like doing it, why will our audience enjoy it? So it was so even today, I think it holds true. As long as you enjoy doing it, that's all that matters.
Awesome. But talking of money, mental fitness, and stuff like that, when you say there's a lot of stress with people about finance in particular, I think Sharik is even better equipped to answer that particular question. How did you find the niche, right? So you said that you were running a company before this. If you can quickly give a background, what company did you run, and how did you stumble upon this particular niche, Malayalam plus personal finance? Very fascinating to me.
Right. So I studied at NIT Jamshedpur, National Institute of Technology, Jamshedpur. So when I reached there by, I guess, second year, so the entrepreneurship bug bit me. So then I couldn't never focus on studies anymore. Really wanted to do something of my own. So attending all the entrepreneurship conferences and what all, right? So I sat down with my friends, really wanted to do something. So I knew a bit of designing, video editing. So as anyone would do, started a creative designing agency when I was in second year of college. Did well, got a few clients, but then as when it hit me, this is not a startup, right? A startup should be probably disrupting something. It should be changing. There should be a paradigm shift and something, an impact should be created, right? So that is when this was back in 2013, 14. So all the Grofers and Swiggies of the world were not there. So we actually ideated the new concept of hyperlocal logistics and hyperlocal delivery. So really want to do that. So we started traveling to Kolkata. So from Jamshedpur, Kolkata was very near. So that was the nearest place where we could probably meet investors, angel investors, VCs, anything, right? So we started attending those, figuring out what to do. And then at IIT Kharagpur, there was this event called Global Entrepreneurship Summit. So we happened to become a finalist there. And then we were high on conference. One angel investor, I still remember him. So he actually said, "You actually started back in the days. Seed funding were a thing, but still then they said we need to see traction." So that's the word, right? Traction. So they said, "You launch, you show us traction, we would invest." So with all the naivety, without knowing anything, we launched a company back then, raised money from wherever we can, from our friends, from family, from our savings. Then we actually launched when we were in the break between third and fourth year. We had an office, we had nearly 5 employees, we had a website and app running, we were delivering stuff. Even the GM, the gross merchandise value, we did reach not bad number. But then we were doing with all the naivety. We ran out of money within 6 months of launch. We had to shut shop. Then we were getting on a local train every weekend to travel to Kolkata and meet investors. Finally, we struck a deal. A company which were operating in the similar front in Kolkata, they were planning to expand into Jharkhand, to Jamshedpur and Ranchi. So they kind of took us up, and so that was a successful exit. But then I traveled down to Bangalore, worked with other VC funded startups like Brendo Mojo, Royal Brothers. So that is where I actually got perspective as to how to build something that actually matters. So probably even when running a YouTube channel, I think analytically, right? Like how was one video doing? I mean, what is the CTR? What is the, like, every metric I actually write down. I have a few set of metrics which I actually track and make sure that those are met. So probably maybe that is why. So Taskeen was telling her experience of maybe getting, I forgot the exact number, but again, a metric she said 4,000, 5,000 subscribers within 2 years. So contrastingly for me, I reached 50,000 subscribers in say 4 or 5 months, I guess. And that too in Malayalam. So with a very small, TG market size, right? So probably maybe because I kind of kept working on my videos, understood what is wrong. After each video, probably tracking the metrics and understanding what could be made better. And one thing I realized was, providing value is the only one thing needed to win in on YouTube, and all the other things that you need to do, like perseverance and all the frequency of uploading, all those things. But keeping, again, answering to your specific question, which is how I reached the whole personal finance space, was again, I started sorting it for myself, and I would like to narrow it down very much. Right, I'm a full-time trader, so I need not do anything. I say this very proudly. I trade in the equity market with futures and options, and I do that very well. I'm an active option seller, to be very specific. So when I started doing that, I thought, why shouldn't I not tell people about this, right? So that is when, even the company now, the Funfolio, the company now is actually helping people to win in the stock market. So we have a lot of wide variety of products doing this. So I started teaching people about this, and then it kind of started diversifying and reaching to general, wider personal finance. I understood when people started interested in investing in the equity market, they do not even have health insurance, or their tax space is not sorted. None of their personal finance is sorted, and they want to invest in the equity market, which absolutely doesn't make sense to me, right? So I tell them, no, do not invest now. First take care of your personal finance, build an emergency fund and all of those stuff. So we help them with variety of products for doing that. So again, YouTube, I see you asked about metrics as well, right? What we think about when we reach a specific number of subscribers. So I stopped thinking about that when I stopped seeing that number as number of subscribers. They are number of customers for me. So even if how small it is, I might feel 500K is small looking at Himesh and Taskeen's following, but those are, or at least a subset of it is paying customers for me. Last ticket clients, right? So makes sense for me in that sense, right?
Absolutely. With that, thanks. There's a lot of insight into how you are thinking about building the business, building your YouTube channel as a business. I think that's remarkable. I think Himesh, you've also done a phenomenal job at this, without any doubt. So you have a very strong personal brand offline as well, right? So you actually go to. I was looking at your website, and almost all the companies that I've ever heard of are marked as your clients. Like, how do you manage this, offline and online presence both at once, and how does your style change in either?
Right. So I always understand that you cannot sail in many boats. So I've always focused on one thing, which is creating value. So I've been creating a lot of value digitally. So first 2 years, I was just in one room. I was the editor, I was the writer, I was my marketer, I was my secretary, doing everything for first 2 years. And then I started receiving a bit of queries from clients. Then I understood that what has worked is not the pull thing, not the push thing, the pull thing is working. So I'm creating content, it is reaching corporates, it is reaching masses, and that's why I'm getting queries. So I should not switch my mindset that अब मेरे को पैसा कमाना है तो I'll create a marketing team and everything. I kept on adding consistent value, and that kind of started increasing the corporate connect. And when I used to go to corporates for delivering keynotes, people used to capture some shots, record them in their phones, and they started getting viral. So yes, the difference was there. Physically, when we are on stage, the energy is very different. The charm is very different. There's audience interaction. When you're talking to camera, it is going to be not the same level. But for me, I started posting content of physical keynotes also, along with my face to cam videos. So
Yeah.
that kind of created that balance between both the positionings and both the images. So corporates used to consume that content and invited me, and other everyone else they kept on consuming my regular hygiene content.
Got it. So how did corporates initially find you? Like, how did you get onto their front doors before you had this YouTube channel?
So before YouTube, I was actually working. I was doing a job as a trainer. So I left my job to start the YouTube channel. So the trigger was, that's something which triggered me. I saw a student who jumped from the bus and he had a suicide note in his hand. So he was mentally upset. He was depressed. So when I held that note and it was written, "Ma, mujhe maaf kar dena." So when I read this, I thought कि ये जो training है, this is not just something which should remain in a job and helping few people daily. I should reach to a person sitting in Kota. I should Jaipur, Udaipur, masses, even small towns, and the internet was the only thing. So now when I received those comments that I was about to suicide and I saw this video, I hugged my father after 5 years. That was the reason I started channel, and the reason is still consistent, and that's my core thought, the waking up thought. Every day I wake up with this thought that how I can reach more towards that vision, how I can reduce the number of suicides.
Wow. So you're literally saving lives here. that
Trying
that
my
is
best.
that is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So again, coming back to Taskin and Sugan, one of the things that I know about you guys is that you have been very, very methodological about how you pick your topic. A lot of people I talk to in the YouTube industry, right? So they tell me that the Urban Fire is one of those channels which does a really good job at figuring out what to make videos on. Like that is a consistent feedback that I have heard behind the scenes. So, like, what's your secret? How do you be so scientific about it?
Okay. So in terms of like the research for the topics, right? So one really good tool. So there are two really good sources. Number one is your YouTube comments, right? So you actually read your comments and then you basically take screenshots of the ones you like or the ones even the ones you hate, and you keep on cataloging them. So that's a very good research material. Number two is using things like Google Trends. So you know that so our process, our content creation process is that we don't do trending topics. So so there are two kinds of topics, right, in on YouTube. One is your evergreen and the trending topics. Our process is that we do evergreen topics because we take a lot of time to make the content. A video which you might see today was planned 3 months ago, and so we can't really. So the process is that we can't resist it. So that becomes and what we do next to do when we're talking about a topic, we will usually reference a lot of people. So we both will go and read articles about it, and we'll talk to like industry experts, and then we try to like, okay, how do I simplify this language, simplify this knowledge, and write it in a simplified language, and then the topic comes out.
Yeah. So the whole methodological approach is
I am not alone. Yes.
spending a lot of time scripting the particular video. So as Sugan said, we work only on evergreen topics. We're not like okay, अब इस पे आया ये trending topic है, CA and RP पे तो बनाना है क्योंकि clicks तो आएंगे. अब जब तुम क्लिक करोगे तो अंदर कुछ नहीं होगा. तो don't really care. We want like long term. We are like, even if we're not traders, we are long term investors. So, so if you think about it, that's the whole aspect. As Sugam said, we research a lot about the topic. We talk, even if we are making a video about a pilot we know nothing about. We talk to a pilot from Indigo. We reach out to our friends. The thing is, our network is so big because we've been in the corporate world for so long that a friend of a friend knows what we want to know more about. So commercial, we want a commercial pilot, a friend of a friend will be a commercial pilot. एक SpiceJet का होगा, एक दो का मिल जाएगा. सबके experiences combined, and then after you take all that, sitting with the script, understanding how to see. You have to understand that you're not on YouTube to show how smart we are. That is what we think. We don't really show off how smart we are. We think that we are as novice as our audience. So the questions and doubts that I usually have while approaching a particular person about it, that is the same approach I have while scripting a particular topic. Okay? No matter how stupid the question is, no matter how stupid simple thing, starting from the basics till the very end, even if it's about the stock market, right? What is stock market? Starting from like, why do people trade? What is the demat account? Many people don't know that. People take it for granted. Like, what is the difference between index funds, ETFs, things like that. So small things, and constantly asking why, and then curating that content. That is, we spend most time on that.
And we have to consume a lot of content as well. So when she was doing fitness, she did a fitness certification. When she started doing finance, she got like certified from IIM Bangalore for she did a certification course from IIM Bangalore on understanding like financial like markets and risk and analysis.
So it's about this. The more you learn, the better you can get. The more you think that you don't know, the more you are afraid that you don't know, the better script you'll write.
The wiser the person, the more he or she knows that how much he doesn't know.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Yeah. Here's that brings me to a question for you. That you are, of course, a motivational speaker and you do pump up a lot of people. What is your source of inspiration? Like, how do you stay motivated to create the kind of content that you do? Whom do you look up to?
See, I do understand. Many times I'm asked this question that, since you're a motivational speaker, that means there is no negative emotion or there is no demotivation. I would say that if anyone says that I never see any downfalls, I don't agree to that. I think that's being human. We are not robots. So there would be days when you would feel, you're not inspired enough, you're not motivated enough. Then, there would be some patterns you'll always observe. But the ability or the emotional intelligence lies in how quickly you bounce back, how quickly, you are able to take care of yourself. That is, being emotionally strong. So for me, the biggest motivation whenever I feel any lows is, the value I'm adding. I always go back to comments. So I have this ritual, and I feel every creator should have this ritual. That before going off to bed, I always read comments. That is, what value I added today, what change I brought today. So instead of the balance sheet or what I earned, what I got in my bank, ये सब important है, ये जरूरी है. But primary seat पे होना चाहिए what value we are delivering and what people are getting. So for me, the primary seat is the thing which I look back before I close my eyes in the night. And the biggest motivation for me, and I think for many creators, is the response from audience. When they are happy, when there's a change in their lives, when you see those smiles, So I think that is the biggest motivation for anyone.
Absolutely. Of course, when you see a comment that says you saved my life, I don't think there's anything more satisfying than that, to get up in the morning next morning and like just work for it. Awesome. That's really nice to know. And Sharik, if I may ask you a question on these similar lines, like, how do you consistently come up with so many topics to talk about, in the realm of personal finance? Like, how do you pick topics for years at a stretch, right? Like, are there so many topics to talk about?
So with time, my channel has become an active area of discussion regarding the stock market, right? So yes, so as Tuskin was saying, so there is something called evergreen content and trending topics related to at least personal finance, right? So evergreen content, yes, they are limited. They are only as much as they are. But again, since we are in the market, so I probably built a community where there are people who are daily taking part in the market, right? So daily something or the other happens in the market. So actually we need to actually work on trending topics. So that's when I actually started an English channel, I guess 1 month before. So I am at 40K subscribers already there. I do a daily show there, right? I do a daily show where I do an analysis of what happened in the market the same day, what can happen in the next day, kind of discuss about a few stocks, and also take their live question and answer. So that kind of an engagement is at least necessary in my space, because that is required. And because people take part in the market and they need a kind of support over there, right? Whatever is available in the market as of now for a proper analysis, I don't think that is proper, at least. So I have been doing this in Malayalam, and I looked into the content space in English, in Hindi. I'm planning to expand nationally, by the way. So I was looking into other languages, and no one is doing this properly. There are people doing, but I don't. Stock market and personal finance, to be very specific, in India, most of the channels are run by people who actually do not take part in the stock market. They just want to explore and leverage the opportunity that YouTube provides to create content around stock market and tell people about that, right? They might not even be probably taking part or active participant in the market. So I want to kind of break that. I make my P&L public. People can see that. I go on lives and show that. So I make sure that if they are coming to learn from me or follow what I'm saying, then I have to build their credibility. And I don't think many people, there are, as of now, I can see some people here and there starting to do that, which is a great change that India needs. I really want to be on the forefront of that. So, yes.
Awesome. That's really inspiring. So the comment that I'm seeing, Jasim says, you are the man who brought him into the stock market. So congratulations.
Right. Yes.
So again, Taskin and Sugan, this is a question very close to my heart. Like, both of you have been software engineers, right? And at what point did you think that, hey, this is too much? I want to make content. Like, when did you realize that you can do this and you can do this like full time?
So I'm doing part time. She's doing full time. So she should answer this.
So it's never been like, okay, we've been frustrated with our software jobs. Contrary to what people believe, I understand that software is a little bit challenging and demanding, but it makes you a professional. That's there. But yes, after a few years, before hitting the midlife crisis, you want to find out what else you want to do. That is when it came out as an answer. It's not just YouTube, but also the company that we're running, which is Kilo. So I think the moment when I said it's more, I'll be lying if I say money is not a motivator. It is. When I said to myself that if I earn half the money I'm earning from my job from YouTube, I'll quit, and that is what happened. So that's when I really did.
Oh, that's awesome. So that actually is a question on my list, which I will go out after right away, since you brought up Skillo. Like, what is Skillo and how did that evolve out of the YouTube channel that you're running?
So it's like this. I'll keep this short. So Skillo is more about on YouTube, we really have to work a lot to get eyeballs in terms of it's either a trending topic, like in terms of like कुछ आज क्या चाहिए, IELTS पे चाहिए या फिर TOEFL पे चाहिए या फिर they want on something related to English or related to finance. We really have to really struggle with respect to thumbnails, introduction to get the eyeballs, and it has to be really short and crisp. We have the flexibility of making full-fledged courses, even though we want to. And that is why we thought, let's start with something called Skillo, where we have the flexibility of creating full-fledged courses, not just by us, but also people we think can provide credible content. And what Sugan also is working on is like a search catalog, wherein you get courses not just for us, but also from other, be it EDX, Coursera, Skillshare, basically the kind of website that we search for getting courses.
So with Skillo, the idea is that, and we're not there yet, but the idea over that is so I think we have been very 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 lucky that we had people who gave us career guidance, and that's why we did really well in our careers. What we want to be able to reach with Skillo is that to build a machine learning model where we can help students guide on their career, right? So today you've been a software engineer for maybe 3-4 years. What do you want to be doing next? Do you want to become an engineering manager, or do you want to go to your dream job, or whatever? So being able to tell them these might be your choices, and these are maybe some courses or mentorship or something which you can do, or some degrees you can do to reach there. Being able to tell them that's where we want to be. Right now, we are building a lot of things around that because,
yes.
yeah.
And starting with the thing that we already have. First of all, you build for the audience that you have. You have the lead canvas model for startups, right? So build for the audience that you have before you reaching out to audience that you want to reach out to. So yeah, वो lead canvas का है हमारे पास. वो जब से so we have that. What are the features we want to roll out first? We are only doing. And so that's what Skillo is all about. It's like a combination of small MVPs being released soon.
Right. That's awesome. So, Himesh, you also have launched a book based on all the learnings as well. So this is something that you probably like took a lot of learnings, just like Taskin and Sugan took a lot of learnings from your probably YouTube channels or probably even your offline trainings and put them into a book. Now, how do you look at life beyond being just a YouTuber? Like, what's the next step once you reach a certain stage at a YouTube channel?
Right. I think I had been doing this, I would say, mistake. So I guide this a lot to other creators that we think that we are just creators. But a creator has to think from an enterprise point of view, right? So we have to convert our interest into expertise and expertise into enterprise. Then only you can sustain your vision. Even if you whatever vision you have, if you want to sustain it and make it bigger, then you have to think multiple formats, which you can only think once you think from an entrepreneurial point of view. So for me, initially 4 to 5 years, I was just creating content and wanted my vision should reach, masses and should reach to, everyone in India. But then I realized that I have to have a team. I have to have people who can do this. I should stop doing editing. I should stop doing complete research by myself. So I started hiring people. I thought of being an entrepreneur, invested on it. And gradually now I'm having an e-learning startup. My book is being sold at multiple places, keynote speeches, affiliate income. So for a creator, there are 13 plus ways to monetize their influence, right? So it's just the mindset which should be of an entrepreneur, that how out of those 13, how many sources you can encash, and you can again stick to your vision and sustain it. So book was another part of that journey, that I can add more value, and since it's a physical product, it will reach people. There would be a sustainability to my vision also. Similar I did with my e-learning portal Seekhega India, wherein we are trying to digitalize the training, and these trainings are working well. So they're reaching masses, and that's, as Taskin also said, there is no structured training format on YouTube, which we were able to do through Seekhega India.
Awesome. That's phenomenal. And I think that is a common thread that ties all the three panelists that we have today. Sharik is, of course, running Funfolio, which is probably building on top of his own personal finance YouTube channel as well. If you want to dig into Funfolio right now and explain as to how it evolved from just the YouTube channel in itself, Sharik, over to you.
So I absolutely agree with what both of them have said, because being a content creator is what you should not be. You should be building content, and as Himesh rightly mentioned in his own signature way, building expertise around it and then converting it into an enterprise, right? So that is absolutely what I believe as well. I mean, it's not about being a creator, being a YouTuber. It's about building a business around it, right? So about Funfolio and what it is doing. So I started teaching people about the stock market on YouTube. So I've put a comprehensive course completely for free on YouTube. I mean, a person, if he watches from the first episode up till the, I don't know, 100 something episode, I mean, I've gone into like real depth. So if they watch it, they can absolutely learn about the market. But then it is not actually happening. I mean, out of all, maybe say 100 people start watching it, what I need is probably 100 of them ending up winning in the market, but that is not happening, right? Because they're not getting proper experience from there, maybe by watching content on YouTube. So I thought about this. So absolutely, stock market is something aspirational. People want to be a part of it, want to trade, want to invest, and want to grow their wealth. That is definitely there. And personal finance is to be sorted, and they need to win in life, right? So yeah, so that is a problem statement. And looking at the stock market throughout India, one, people do not know about it. Two, If people know about it, a larger part of the people call it Satta Bazaar and think that it is betting and people lose money over there. That is the larger part of the people who at least know about it. Then we are coming down the funnel, right? Then there are people who actually know about it. Then they want to do something about it. So they start learning. But then there is a huge entry barrier. Where to learn, where to get good content from. So a huge entry barrier is there. They somehow break the entry barrier. They learn from whatever material is available on YouTube or whatever course they take. So they learn something about it, but then they do not have good avenues to actually do something and win in the market. So right from knowing about the market up till winning, actually winning and having a profitable statement at the end of the month, or growing your money, it is not happening, right? I mean, I've done countless surveys. I mean, that's something I keep doing. I take NPS, I do surveys, I understand inside my community what percentage of people are making profit with what level of experience and what amount of capital. I keep doing this. So I keep tracking all this and make sure that it is increasing. All those metrics are increasing. So this problem is absolutely there, not just in Kerala, but throughout India. People want to win in the market, but they cannot do it. So we actually came up with this concept of educate, engage, and then elevate. So that is something that we have done in Kerala. It's kind of validated now. We have in the last elevate part. So we are tracking this. A person when starts watching my YouTube channel, we kind of takes him out from YouTube and put it into our discussion panels and forums and into our database. Tracks his journey, make sure that and we are tracking how many people are actually winning, and we are actually again this is something that we are very proud of. Now we want to scale this up nationally, and we are in the works. Probably you can see all of them sitting behind and working relentlessly towards that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like very ambitious, right there. Again to Taskin and Sugandh again. So when you guys were starting out, there were probably some quote unquote hacks. I don't want to call them hacks, but some things that initially worked. But are there some things that really worked out for you in the initial days? And are there some things that worked in those days, but probably do not work anymore? Like some of the advice that has probably not aged so well. Are there things like that, or if there are things that just by and large worked initially?
So, yes, I think so. There are 10 commandments as far as YouTube is concerned. Frankly, yes, I would not say there are any hacks. There's only hard work. No matter what people tell you, there's no. Of course, when you see the trending page, there are more videos that iska totka, uska totka, but like yes. But more than hacks, I think that 10 commandments that any YouTube creator event that you attend, they'll tell. First is consistency. Second is
like build for sharing. What's the one reason why your video will be shared?
Third is transparency. Fourth is something like that. You just Google, you'll figure it out. If you just follow I mean, it really applies. It applied in 2016. And it applies even today, is that more than you creating content for others, it's also about first figuring out what your style is. It's not easy to be in front of a camera. Initially when I started, at least, and when Sugandh started, we were really pathetic. I tried to imitate to go over and be extremely, oh, this is what we do it. Hi, so number 5, transference. So it wasn't really suiting me. And even Sugandh, I gave him a Harry Potter chashma, and he tried to become a nerd. And so a lot of fool of ourselves. And initially, yes, you'll not have audience, and that's actually a good thing, because that means you'll not have a lot of hate putting you down while you discover yourself on camera and online. So that's I think that's one advice that will never grow old, is that first find yourself. Even if there are people who are not liking your content, it's good. But, and then later, once you start enjoying the process, you'll also find people who will also enjoy your content.
And also like we actually experimented with a lot of types of content. We actually invented a correct, we tried to do let's use comedy for information. So we had a Hyderabadi character called Nazma. Afin Api. Afin Api. We did we tried doing vlogs, and so we actually and we tried interviewing we'll try to do podcast kind of scenarios.
We did. So I'm going to tell you just one thing, that Mark Cuban was attending a college convocation, and one graduate asked him, so I want to do this also, I want to do this also, I want to do this also, I want to be a writer also, I want to do this also, I want to watch. Mark Cuban is like, do everything. Who's stopping you? Right.
that that is absolutely right. Yeah, yeah. Why not just follow your passion, right? I actually that was on my list, and this is a question I'll probably throw at Himesh, which is there are a lot of people, at least in the previous sessions, who have always asked us about, hey, I want to do fashion and lifestyle. I want to do travel vlogging. I want to do probably something else. No, I have interest in all of these. What should I start pursuing? Probably like if you can pick up from what Taskin just said, if you can throw light on. Now, how does a person try to find that niche in the early days?
Right. So when it comes to finding niche, first thing which Tanskin and Sugan also mentioned, it's passion. If you don't have a passion for any topic or any specific subject, you won't be able to sustain it for longer. Ultimately, you would feel कि यार लोग खुश हो रहे हैं लेकिन मैं खुश नहीं हूँ, और जब आप खुश नहीं हो तो आप लोगों को लॉन्ग टर्म में खुश नहीं कर पाओगे. So very first thing is, do you feel passion for that topic? There can be three topics you feel passion for. It can be cooking, it can be fashion or anything, but you should be passionate about. It should be in your areas of interest, maybe top 5 areas of interest. Second is value to marketplace. Do people need that? You are passionate about something. I'm very passionate about, say, these glasses, कि ये कैसे बनते हैं, क्या होता है. But there's a very limited value to marketplace. There's not a huge market which would be interested in this. And if I'm okay with that market size, that's also a question. And third is profitability. So P passion, V value to marketplace, and third would be again profitability. Would I be able to sustain it? क्या 10 videos, 20 videos down, I'll be just ultimately saturated कि यार ये बढ़ नहीं रहा, आगे नहीं हो रहा. So क्या इसमें कोई affiliate incomes का scope है? क्या इसमें ad revenue का scope है? For example, business videos give you more ad revenue. Entertainment videos give you less ad revenue. So you should be knowing it before you start. कि आप एडवर्टाइजर की बिड कैसे रहने वाली है, एफिलेट का कितना स्कोप है, इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर स्पॉन्सरशिप्स, इज देयर अ स्कोप फॉर दिस और नॉट. सो I'll again sum it up. P passion. One should be passionate about the topic. P value to the marketplace. Is there a need for that topic? कि सिर्फ मेरा ही passion है वो. Third, profitability. Would I be able to sustain it, build it, if I want to build an enterprise out of it? So PVP.
PVP. What is PVP?
Again, passion, value to marketplace, and profitability.
Okay.
What I explained. I just summarized it.
Awesome. That's a interesting way to remember this. That's pretty awesome. With throwing this at you, Sharik, yours is probably much more. I think all of us here, all the three panelists, 4 panelists actually, are we saw that you have a very business oriented kind of an appeal to your business. Now, how did that compete? How does that compete largely with the TikToks of the world and the entertainment content out there? Like, are you ever competing with such things, or is it like a completely standalone market out there?
So I think it's all about the mindset. I mean, it's about what drives us, what we are, who we are, and what gives us a high rate. So for me, as I said in the beginning, it's not about the number of subscribers, the number of followers, or how popular I'm becoming. If I go out, how many people are appreciating me, where I'm getting invited on a stage to talk, or not to talk like this, maybe to inaugurate an event or stuff like that, right? So there are different kind of content creators, right? So probably people in the entertainment industry. So they create content on TikTok, as you said, that on TikTok, or they want to get popularity. So fame is what they behind, right? So they want their brand, or they want to be identified as themselves. That fame is what they are after. So they create content with that perspective, and they get fame, I guess. I mean, with a large number of following. So for them, the number of following, how they getting identified when they're out, all of those matters, right? But for me, or at least as you said, we are all building businesses around what we are doing. So for us, rather than being known for who we are, we want to build a business, create an impact, and that business should create a value. So what is giving us high is not that number, that vanity metric that we call the number of followers or subscribers. But what gives me high is at least the business I'm building, the brand of my business, and the impact I can actually create among people. So when I do this English show, the daily show of mine, so I ask people to go down into the comment section and write down if they were able to make profit or loss in the market after following whatever I'm doing. And to my surprise, I mean, I could see, I mean, I'm tracking that. So over 90% of the people who are commenting. I'm not sure if people who are making loss are not commenting or not. Otherwise, I can see all of them making profit. So those kind of impact is what gives me high, right? So I don't care. Absolutely, I want the audience to grow. I want it to grow for sure. But rather than that, having whatever I'm having as of now, I want to make sure that impact is definitely there. So
Absolutely,
that
absolutely.
perspective difference would be there. But for a entertainment creator on TikTok, he just wants maximum views. He wouldn't care. I mean, what the viewer got from it, or how he enjoyed, or how he took it back to his sleep. I mean, we who actually create value, as Himesh said, we get amazing and absolutely great kind of SMS emails. Right? Even today, I got an email which said that a person, after investing in the market, after learning from me, he could actually grow his wealth and close a few of his loans, which actually sorted his life. So these are the kind of mails we get. So these drive us. I mean, such kind of things give us a high and drives us compared to a TikTok creator for whom, I don't know, number of shares or likes or follows only matter. Right. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. So the next question, I'll follow up with great comments over there to Sugan and Taskin. I remember I was meeting Taskin one day at the IIIT campus, and one guy came in and said, "Hey, you impacted my life so much that I'm now able to do this interview." And he was tearing up, and I was standing behind you, and I was tearing up, looking at him tearing up. So 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 that's such a wonderful feeling. But I have a twist question for you. Like, how do you deal with the not so positive comments? So, I'm sure you would have a lot of internet trolls out there who are also after you. Like, how do you deal with it?
So we have received all sorts of negative comments. So normal things are fine. Okay.
What do you normal? You mean like comments on my face and all that? Huh?
Okay.
That is normal.
Okay. So yeah. So they range from death threats to to basic to basically like critical criticism. So we try to we try to, like, whenever there's something new, we try to take a screenshot, keep it as in our copy, and to at least see if this guy is making sense. Sometimes they're making sense. Sometimes there might be a genuine error in our video. So we try to root cause that, like, why did this error happen? Sometimes the audio might be off, and some people might be angry because of that, right? So okay, let's not do that. And sometimes they're very negative, and we just happily ignore them.
So it's like this. Bhagav, we've been, I'll be honest, I think we've been sort of lucky, touch wood, because it's not as bad as how other creators usually get it. Nobody really comes and tells that, of course there are people who as you said, there are people who make critical comments who are like, एक error हो जाता है because multiplication में मतलब हम भी multiplication error है. So and they come, 100 people tell us the same thing, and we're like, okay, sorry, Baba, yes, this is the issue, this was the thing, and that's fine. That's really that good. The more comments you make, in fact, actually, I think we sort of try to make some mistakes in a video so that people point it out, because the more comments you get, the more engagement, and the more people sort of get good for it.
Actually, when the video was shot, like, okay, error आ गया, इसको क्या करें? Like, okay.
Rather your comments. So that's good in a way. But yes, of course, I understand somebody also asked in the discussion session. In the discussion thing is, how do you deal with negative comments? Rural panel said, and yes, there are people who get a little bit personal about it. They comment on your looks. They're like, what is that dirty hairstyle? Oh, are you African? And I'm like, I just sit and laugh, and there's nothing bad that this person, there's no intellectual comment this person can make, so they get down to the level of personal abuse, which is fine. It's a part of life, and more than there's a friend of mine, Radio Mirchi, Shadi. So she is like this person who gives back to the person when they make personal comments on her. They are like, she fights with them. Unless the person says sorry. That's one personality, that's also right. And I'm like, why will I waste time on this person? I will script to make more money, do one trade, invest in one company, I'll make more money than doing this. So it's like that. So it's okay. You just have to realize you have to be secure about who you are. There'll be 100 good comments and one bad comment, so you have to just let go of that.
Absolutely. Again, Himesh, I think yours is much more, since you mentioned that you've prevented people from committing suicides and all, you might also be getting some negative comments, I'm pretty sure, because that's a norm across the internet. with no exceptions, I guess. Like, I want to slightly have a different question towards you. Like, a lot of questions or a lot of internet trolls might be abusing you, but in those comments, they probably sensationalize the feeling that they have. How do you dig into what they really mean to say? Look, there might be some people who
Mhm.
put out a negative comment, but they actually mean something really constructive. How do you dig into those?
Right. Right. So I would say there can be two types of comments when we talk about not exactly negative comments. So I won't term those comments as negative comments wherein I'm getting feedback. So negative comments का meaning अलग होगा, feedback का meaning अलग होगा. There would be some comments with the way of feedback can be different. My father gives me a feedback in a different way. My brother gives in a different way. So my viewers can give a feedback in a different tone, different thought process because they all are from different backgrounds. But that is a feedback and that is going to help me. Even if they're not intending to give me a direct feedback, but if there is a feedback, it is going to help me. Now, when we talk about negative comments, I always feel it's a sign wherein we should give a pat on our back. क्योंकि कुछ नहीं करेंगे तो नेगेटिव कमेंट नहीं आएंगे, कुछ करेंगे तो नेगेटिव कमेंट आएंगे. If we are getting negative comments, it means we are doing something and we should be very proud of it. The only way is be scared, sit at home, do nothing, and you'll be insulated from any negative comment. Second, whenever any such negative comment comes, right, हमारा फोकस उस पे चले जाता है. दिस इज टू ऑल द क्रिएटर्स इन द ऑडियंस who are listening to this. We just focus on that 1 or 2% and start disturbing ourselves. But there are 95%, 98% positive comments which we are not looking at, right? So the ratio of 2 is to 98. It means you're doing 98% people are happy from you and 2% are venting their frustration, which is a sign of success. So I think it's absolutely okay.
So basically, you're suggesting in some ways that having a negative comment is a certificate that you're doing something. You're doing something in life. that is what,
If it's not a feedback, then take it. If it's a vent, you need not take it. Just give a pat on your back.
of course, of course. Sharik, I will throw the question at you for as the last one over here. That is, how do you deal with, in general, stress and the negativity associated with a YouTuber, especially given the scale that all of you are at? After a certain point, you do start to attract a bunch of internet trolls. How do you deal with it, Sharik?
Right. So I was smiling throughout when Himesh was speaking because I kind of completely agree to what he said. I mean, I kind of, it is similar thought process there. But one thing I would like to add there is, so, I mean, that is all okay, right? I mean, people are going against us, questioning us, asking about our credibility. That is when we actually take steps. I never wanted to make my PNL public, but then I started doing it, right? So that again helped me. So that actually brought in more audience. Right. So it is all good. Even negative comments are all okay. I give a pat on my back and I understand that it's all good. Right. So that is there. But one thing which actually takes a toll on me is when people would question me when I maybe start building a business around this. Right. So maybe when so I think that I've taught a lot of people about the market and I brought in them. I built a community. It's all good. So, but if I say start I have my own mobile application now, right? So if I start a subscription service there, if I ask them to pay for something which actually requires a cost at the back end, right? Then not everyone, as you said, 99 point or even 99 point some percentage of them didn't be having any problem with it. But even a 0.1% of the audience is questioning me. Why are you commercializing this? Why are you building a business? So that I actually take it to my heart. I mean, what is wrong in it, right? I mean, we're building a business around something. We are giving them value. We're giving them everything that we can by spending, by building a team. We have our own cost. And for meeting that cost is what we are charging for. And when they do not appreciate it, because on my channel, I also speak about entrepreneurship. I also speak about general youth empowerment. I need people to actually go out, start hustling, think about themselves, what their passion is, and start doing it. Not necessarily be stock market investment, right? If it's anything else, they should be doing it probably. They should start doing it. And when I'm actually showcasing that to them, and when they question me on that regards, is the only time when it kind of I actually take it back to my sleep. Otherwise, yes, I mean there are stressful moments in the journey, but it's all part of the journey, right? I mean, can't be all happy and always all good. So I just take it on the go. Now I have a team, so we among ourselves we make sure that we do not discuss anything negative. We always focus on positivity, always discuss, and we have fun here, is what I would say.
Thanks, Sharik. I am only halfway through my questions, unfortunately, but almost done with the time. And the answer that Sharik just gave also was going to be my last question to all of you. Like Himesh, if you can dig into, at what point do you, flip between being this channel on YouTube, which is all free content, or moving onto your own courses that you sell your own book, stuff like that, where you're actually charging for money, as Sharik just mentioned, right? So there's a lot of negativity that people tag with it. How do you make that switch from being a free YouTuber to a business person?
I think the thought process should be from the day one. I would say the thought process should be there. You should have that in your mind map or a plan that when you are going to start, but the thought should be there. For example, from the very first subscriber, you can, collect their information, give them some value in return, take their data from the very first subscriber. You can have that thought process. But when it comes to monetizing, I think the formula of Gary Vee comes into picture: jab, 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 hook. So value, value, value. Let's first start with value. When you've given a lot of value, you've gained that trust. Now there's an additional piece of value, structured value. For a fashion influencer, the structured value can be merchandise. For an educational influencer, the structured value can be a course. Then you can give them more value. But the trust can be built. I can't put it in a number. It depends from category to category. For a lifestyle category, it can be 100K subscribers. For an educational influencer, it can be 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers. Instead of putting it on a number, I would say how much value have you given, and now you feel that there can be a next level wherein cost can be involved. For example, in case of Sharik, the team has to be there, the app has to be there, the cost is involved. Now the value additional value would need additional revenue, additional money. So it varies from industry to industry.
Absolutely. Sugandh and Taskin, the last question on this panel to you. That is, at what point did you flip the switch between wanting to do this course, probably paid? I don't know if it's you're planning to make it paid or not, but at what point are you going to switch from being this free YouTube channel to something that you actually charge for and build a business?
So, I think summarize it. Basically, the thing is, free content will always create. YouTube is where we found a platform, we found an audience, so we'll always keep doing it. It's like a marketing funnel. So basically, what we at the end of the day, so how do we make money? We make money through YouTube, of course. The more views, we make money through sponsorships. That's where most of our money comes from. And then we make money from our from the courses that we're trying to sell. Now, the sponsorships, the fact that our sponsors keep coming back to us tells us that they get very good returns out of it, which means that our channel is a very good marketing funnel. Means that we will be able to promote our product very nicely or through our channel. So, and we don't do telebrand. We are not like, आजकल मैं बहुत परेशान था पर ये product use करने के बाद we talk about a problem, we give solutions and then pitch the product as one of the solutions. And if we are doing it for other brands, we'd like to continue doing it for ourselves as well. So we'll always keep creating free content. But of course, yes, there are people who always want more. As you said, that they are triple IT, a person who has said, because of you, I started giving for interviews. You will not believe when I go to triple IT, at least 2 people tell me that. And that's triple IT, imagine. I just go to IKEA, 5 people come and tell me that. So the people who always want more content, and for them, yes, of course, if you want more content, this is a price, because, and the reason why we are not making it free, because that we also want to support deployment, we also want to give money to people, we want to, and scalability takes money, and giving people employment takes money, and that is the whole idea of charging people. So that's the switch. So we give whoever wants to pay. The reason why memberships work, or the reason why super chats work, is because people want to support us. They're audience that really wants to support what we are doing. And we're not saying that we'll only give you content if you give us money from now. You feel free to watch our content if you want to, but if you want more and if you want to support us, this is another way of doing it. Instead of telling them, this is our Patreon link, please come and support us, we are saying that this is the value we are providing. This is a course that we're giving. If you want it, buy it, and this is the money you have to pay.
So
yes,
sir.
Yeah, so I was just going to add that. And the thing is, like, the the content is sort of driven by who's paying for it, right? If my YouTube ads is my only source of revenue, I will have to make content which gets me only views. Quality might not be my primary thing. If I'm selling a course and the course will really be sold on like the word of mouth, so then my concern would be to improve the quality of the course, right? So basically, it's like on social media, you are the user is not the customer is the thing which is being sold, right?
Yeah.
So
Aligning incentives in itself is a challenge, so that you do the right thing, optimize for the right thing. Awesome. So yeah, with that, I'm afraid I have to bring this session to an end. My co-organizers are pinging me that the other session is not having any audience because of us. So cool. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. This was a fun discussion. Unfortunately, I couldn't ask you all the questions that I wanted to, but probably for some other day. Cool.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Julian,
Absolutely.
for
And thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll
It was a
like to
pleasure
add
being here.
something.
Thank you.
take care.
Sure.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sharik. Thanks.
No, so we are here, right? So what I wanted to add was, so like unlike you, so I on YouTube have actually watched your content before me becoming a popular YouTuber here. So I have actually probably watched your videos, unlike you watching mine, right? So wanted to
Guys,
add
can
that.
we go backstage, please? On the top right, you will see a backstage button. We'll continue the conversation
Sure.
there. So sorry.
Yeah.
We are live right now.